Okay. Let's get going. Can y'all hear me? Let's do a mic check. Details. Public. Cool. Okie doke. So, what are we doing today? So I am the director of technology for a nonprofit I volunteer for. It's the Midwest Institute for Sexuality and Gender Diversity, which is really long. Cool. Thanks, Mars. And I am a busy human and don't have the enough time to update things as I should. And me doing these streams is me attempting to update and do things for the Institute on a more regular basis while also sharing that process with y'all. So, I know it's like 10:56. I should probably wait for another 4 minutes, but I'm amped up, so let's just go. So, today we are going to work on updating this website to the latest version of Statamic. It's on Statamic 3 already, but I'm about 25 updates behind, which is kind of bad. So let's fix that. And then also, there's about, okay, let's pull up the gain then. Thank you, Richard. Okay, mic gain. Okay, maybe I'm just too far away. So let's do far. Let's play with that and see how that goes. Okie doke. There's also about 10 issues that I haven't fixed yet. So let's also work on that. But the first being, let's update this major changes. So first off, let's check what version we're running. I'm fairly certain it's running PHP 8, so PHP 7.2 and 7.3 doesn't really matter in our case. So yeah, let's go check on Forge. Thank you, Richard. This is my first stream in about like 4 years, so I'm a little out of practice. So thanks for letting me know that my voice was low, and we'll keep playing with it and make sure I sound better. So yeah, the Institute's website is on SGD Holy Pine. Yes. And it is running, where was it? PHP 7.4. Oh, poop. Well, that's poopy. I don't want to update the server. Boy. Okey-doke. PHP 7.2 and 7.3 are no longer supported. Okay. Laravel 6 and 7 are no longer supported. So let's go into Composer. And let's see what Composer says. Composer says we're on Laravel Framework 7.0. Not 9.0? Jeez, okay. Well, this is off to a great start. Okay, so yeah, let's upgrade to 8.1 because I don't want to be on 7.4 anymore. And I also want to update to Laravel Framework 9 because we're on 9. 8 just stopped getting supported last week, so it being on 7 kind of sucks. So let's do that. And I'm going to cheat, but not cheat. And go to Laravel Shift and have them do it for me. Let's see. Yes, I understand. Run Shift. Is there a Laravel Shift for, there's not one for PHP versions. That's fun. But will the 7.0 learn more? Laravel Shift automates the upgrade of your Laravel application from Laravel 7 to 8. Yes. But does it upgrade the PHP version? No, it doesn't. Okay. So locally I am running 7 or 8.0. I'm going to move this. Okay. Let's go to GitHub, not that, Laravel, and see what the default Laravel composer looks like. So I can just copy those values. So it requires 8.0 and above. The framework is 9.19. Okay. So let's do this and save and do composer update. Yeah, I can update the PHP version on the Forge UI, but I also need to make sure that the thing running will also accept the PHP version. But so while, okay, that ran. So let's also do this, because you are right, I can do this. So PHP 8.0 is installed. It'll use that on default. Let's also install 8.0 or 8.1. So yeah. But yeah, updating PHP versions through the Forge UI is the best. I don't want to do it manually because I'm lazy and don't know. Like, I could look it up, but doing things through Forge UI saves so much time and so much energy, and I don't have to think about it. So let's move, while that's installing, let's go to sites and go in here. And where do I change that though? Packages, notifications, environment, queue, SSL, security. I want this to be PHP. This. Yeah, I don't want to go to GitHub. Sorry, y'all. I want to update this site to PHP 8. Sites. Enable quick deploy. I don't want that. Deployment trigger, maintenance mode, update get remote, deployment branch, uninstall repository. No. Meta. It's probably under meta. Yeah, it is. When changing the version of PHP that the site uses, you may also need to update your deployment script to use the correct PHP binary. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It is funny how I have the CLI to use 7.3, but I use 8.0 for FPM. I think I tried to update it, and then I ran out of time or something else happened, so like it just never happened. Yay. So let's, before I update it in, let's not get ahead of myself. Before I update it in Forge, we have 8.0 installed on Forge. We have 8.1 installed on Forge. So now I need to update the site to use 8.0, which I did. But now I need to push it up to GitHub, and order of operations is failing me. But We will figure it out. And if I mess up on the way, well, oh well, we'll figure it out together. So let's go to master branch. Whoops, I don't want to show that. Okay, so we'll do git add dot git commit add or upgrade to 8.0 PHP and git push. Cool. So now let's go to GitHub and make sure that went 12 seconds ago. Cool. And then maybe if we have time, we'll also see what the hell these depend bots are complaining about. But yeah, like I said, I haven't touched this in a bit, so maybe this will be a couple of different videos on updating this thing into actually being useful again. So I'm going to update the PHP version. Yes, I am sure. If I mess it up, I can always come back and fix it. Okay. Let's go to the app and make sure. Okay, it's not doing anything with a hard-coded PHP value. And so now let's deploy. And fingers crossed, there is no error. Because there's, of course, an error. Why are you complaining? The composer on the server is different than the composer I am trying to push. Okay. So, what I do when this happens, it means like, so Statamic, the Spock or the Git integration that Statamic does doesn't automatically commit the composer JSON files, which is kind of annoying because you can update the version of Statamic through the control panel. Right here, like if I go in and do these updates. So if I was in a production environment and then I tried to run those, it doesn't make its way back to GitHub by default. And I haven't decided if I want those files to be committed or not, but that's for future Andy to decide. But for right now, what I need to do is SSH into the server, basically run na, which I always forget what it is. Nope. It's an alias that I have defined. And right here, it's a git reset hard and clean df. So now I'm going to SSH into SGD site. Do I not have that? SSH config. Seriously? Oh, duh. I want to code SSH config and SGD web. Okay, it's right there. So why couldn't I do that? Okay, SSH SGD web. Cool. So now I want to CD into SGD Institute. Nope. Let's see what's in here. Okay, that is not the right server. So exit. And let's make sure that IP address is correct in this config. Public IP. Click to copy. Now, yep, that is definitely not the right IP address. Need a new terminal. So now I can SSH SGD web. Yes, I want to connect. See, I haven't even SSH'd into the server on this computer yet. Or added that at all. Okay. So I'm going to take this over here and move iTerm and copy that public key, because sorry, I don't want to show you my public key. So I'm running pb copy and SSH and then that ID pb copy. There we go. Okay, so now I am going to open up the SSH keys and do MacBook Pro, forge, paste my public key, and add. And then now it is installing and is installed. So now I should be able to SSH SGD web. There we go. And so now we've got sgdinstitute.org. So I'm going to cd into sgdinstitute.org and copy this again because my aliases aren't on my server. Head is now at submission saved. Our floating plus sign and some dots. Oh, yeah, I forgot to switch that. There we go. Thank you, Richard. I forgot I still had the overlay on my overlay scene or whatever. I wasn't gonna keep that up for forever. Open image. Okay, I don't know what that means, but okie doke. So submission saved. We've reset it. So now I should be able to go into Forge and try to deploy again. And maybe it will work or not. Now what are you complaining about? Okay. So, deprecation notice, okay. Installation request for this. Problem. Okay. Well. Basically, installation request for Doctrine de Ball 3.3.7 is satisfied by Doctrine de Ball 3.3.7. Okay, requires Composer Runtime API. Since when? Statamic 2.29 requires this. Okay, I should. Okay. Don't even have that installed on this. Statamic CMS 3.0, SEO Pro, redirect. Update my whole composer. Let's see, what's composer? Wow, I can't. Oh, on the server. You're right, that might be the thing. Composer version. Why on earth am I running Composer 1 on my native machine? Like on my local machine? Why? 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 This is a brand new machine. Brand new, like April, but still. Yeah. let's update Composer. You would think I would have noticed that my own Composer version on the machine that I use every day is Composer 1 instead of Composer, what, we're on 3 now? Okay, the latest is 2 point. So I'm gonna download, fine. Oh, okay. Okie doke. Man, I am scatterbrained this morning. So, Composer 1 on the server, not on mine. Yep. I was SSH'd into the computer, into the server. That's what this view is. Man. Okay. So, this is my local machine. Let's see what Composer V is on here. Okay, 2.2.9. How beautiful. Okay. Thank you. Composer self update. And find sudo self update. And it's going to ask for my sudo password, and I don't know what that is. So I'm going to pull this off just in case. Nope. Okay. Copy that. Okay. Okay, cool. So updating to 2.3, cool. My local version is 2.29. Still gonna update that anyway. Self update. Okay. Composer self update. Cool. So now both my server and my machine are on the latest version, which is 2.3. Cool. So now I should be able to deploy and have it not be a fart. But who knows? Something else might happen. So whenever I see a spinner thing, I hear the Jeopardy like do 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 in my head, and I don't know if anybody else is like that. Cool. It seemed to work. Cool. It finished. So now we're on 8.0. Cool. Honestly, I think I'm good with that for now because I wanted to do other stuff on this stream. Let me just make sure that the site's still loading. Cool. The site is still loading. Cool. So now, yay! Yes, yay. Thank you, Richard, for, yes, I need to be yaying more for like myself because sometimes I stink at that. Okay, so now what? Okay, in local, what is Statamic saying now? Are we still on? Okay, we're still on Statamic 2 or 3. Okay, manual upgrade required. Cool. So let's just also need to update Laravel. Ugh. Fine. Okay. Do y'all want to watch me upgrade Laravel via Laravel Shift or fix some UI bugs? Because I could go either way. Oh, you've never used Statamic before. Um, Statamic is a package, essentially, that's kind of like installing Spatie, anything Spatie or anything like Beyond Code. But it's also kind of more because it kind of hijacks your routes a little bit, but not so much. There's a whole folder of configuration stuff. And by default, Statamic uses the antlers instead of blade, which is an interesting choice, but it's, yeah. Do I wish Statamic had better blade support? Yeah, but they've just invested a ton of time and energy into totally redoing their antlers engine, so I understand why not using blade makes sense. But yeah, updating Laravel to Laravel 9 is probably required to update Statamic to Statamic 3. Kind of. It's kind of a Laravel, like WordPress for Laravel, but like so much better. I have never really enjoyed working with WordPress. So it's like, I mean, Statamic has a whole compared to WordPress page. And it's basically like, yeah, look at this if you want a better comparison of like WordPress but I like Statamic because everything, like all of the content is in flat files. So all of the content can be version controlled. So I don't have to worry about, does my database locally have the content that the database like in the production server has? All I have to do to see all of the changes the folks I work with at the Institute have done, all I have to do is git pull. And that's super helpful because we're working on the same thing, but also if I needed to switch servers, I don't have to worry about like importing the database or even backing up the database. Everything is in Git because of the flat files. I have a lot more control over everything. Collections are kind of like pages in WordPress. I mean, granted, I haven't worked in WordPress since like 2016, so it's been a minute. But I can define things and things look the way I want them to look. So I have defined all of the values that folks can pick and do, and it's super expansive. If you're interested, I've actually been thinking about working on my own personal website and like rebuilding it for the umpteenth time. So maybe I'll do like a stream series on that too. Yeah, that sounds like fun actually, because my current site uses a starter kit from Statamic, which I love, but also kind of want to tweak more and make it more me, because as much as I love Jack McDade's funky style, I'm silly, but in a different way. Yeah. Okay, so let's tackle some of these other bugs. So let's do... Okay. In the simple news component, news is now showing oldest first instead of newest first. Well, that's a problem. So this looks like newest first, but it was the simple one. So where is that component being used? It is... Okay, so on the About page, there is this news component, and so I can add news feature, which looks like this, or a simple news component, which looks like, oh my gosh, so much content. We need to break that up better. Oh, yeah, these three little posts are from 2016. That's not great, so let's fix that. So first, let's look at, it's limiting 3, the background color, fine, whatever. Okay, so this is the news component. Let's go into views, sections, news. And so this is what Antlers looks like. And so instead of doing like a for each, and then articles as article, it looks like this. And so basically this tag, collection articles, we're passing in a limit. So we're limiting it to 3 in this case. And then we're paginating as posts. So it looks like we need to tell this tag to go ascending or descending instead of what it's currently doing. So let's go to the Statamic docs, and which is docs.statamic. There we go. And let's look for the collection tag. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Collection. So we want to look. So collection from blog. Collection from blog is the same as collection blog, which we have collection articles instead of blog. Filtering. So filtering for various conditions. If it's published, pagination. We're not doing pagination here. Grouping, parameters. Since, until, sort. Sort, date, ascending. I feel like this should be default, or it was default and now it's not default, because it was working at some point. But anyway, oh, okay, my brain just did a light bulb, and that's because Statamic does do like sorting by default, but it's in the collection settings. So I can edit the collection and see sort direction. We want descending, I believe. Well, let's save it and see what happens. And if we refresh, cool, that fixed it. That was so easy and simple, and I should have just tried that to begin with. This is also a bug, but first let's get, and so me changing that setting is a file change. So let's, how do I want to do this? I just recently switched to Sublime Merge, and I'm not entirely used to it yet. So let's open Tower and do what use what I'm used to for now. So me changing that setting changes a file. And so this file can be committed and pushed up, which is like the main thing why I love Statamic. Fix sort issue for news components. Before I commit this, I want to check one more thing and make sure that me changing that setting didn't also mess up the other components that use the the articles collection. Wow. Okay. But it looks like we are now getting more up-to-date posts on the front page, which is great. So that fixed the bug in 2 places. Awesome. Okay, this closes. What bug number was that? It is 14. So commit, push. We're going to also push and forge, deploy, SGD institute. Yes, I'm sure. And now, if we go to the home page and go to our philosophy. Ooh, that's another bug. Oh, finding so many bugs. I don't like it. Cool. These are in production, showing correctly. So now I can, GitHub, of course, closed it for me. I don't usually write tests for Statamic stuff. It's not a bad idea. I just have never done it, and I don't really know how that works. I do write tests for our other application. We call it Enterprise, and it's not Enterprise like a big company. It's Enterprise like the ship, because I'm a Trekkie. And so for that, I do write a lot of tests, and it's more of a true Laravel app. But for Statamic stuff, I don't usually write tests. But maybe we'll try that in a different time. And let me write that down so I don't forget. I use Obsidian to like take notes and stuff. So after look into Statamic testing. Cool. And cool. So let's pick another one, because I've got 30 more minutes until I have to go. Which one do we want to do? I want to do the ones that I saw, because this is driving me nuts. So this component is, let's find that page and go to about. And that is a content section. And we've got button. Is that what this is? About our philosophy. Okay. So let's go to our philosophy. And this, so much content. Cool. So we have a button, we have an image, we have an optional caption for that image. There's a background type of color, and the background color is green 600. And so to have dynamic smart, I have a modifier, or is it called a tag in Statamic? I forget. We will go find it. It's in app tags pros. Cool. Yeah. So this site is using Tailwind, and Tailwind has a typography. I think that's how you say that. Tailwind typography. And so Tailwind typography gives you beautiful prose text without me having to define all of these things. So this prose tag that I built basically takes the color that the user defines in the back in the control panel and figures out what the best color should be in dark mode. And so, man, I should have written better comments on this because me just glancing at it means nothing. So basically, I think this which is better is taking the color and getting some RGB values and then seeing the luminosity contrast to see if it should invert or not. So, which makes sense. Okay, so what I actually want to do is go and inspect this and see what's happening here. So it says it's inverting. So prose invert should equal this being white text, which it is not. So let's look at the Tailwind documentation, because the typography plugin does have an invert now. I thought. So XL for sizing. Yeah, dark prose invert. But I want it to do each default color theme includes a hand-designed dark mode version that you can trigger by adding the prose invert class. To learn about blah, blah, blah. So we're adding prose invert, but prose invert isn't getting picked up, it seems. So let's make this bigger. So we've got this prose class and no prose invert. So let's npm install, because I don't remember if I've done that since I've set up this computer, and npm run dev. And also, let's refresh my memory of what Tailwind we're on. So we're on Tailwind 3. Cool, because that's required to do what I want to do. So we've built the CSS, and let's see if that fixes our problem or not. Yes, it did. Cool. Okay, so let's do npm run prod and test it again, because maybe it's thinking that, no, it's cool. So that seems to fix that, but let me network disable cache and refresh it one more time just to make sure I'm not going crazy. Okay, cool. Looks good. So let's go to tower and commit these changes. So basically we just ran and recompiled our assets. Recompile assets to pick up prose invert class. Okay, stage all, and then we're gonna, this had to be a bug. CSS, nope, nope, nope. Yes, number 12. Number 12, cool. Commit, push. Forge deploy site, SGD. Confirm. Cool. And if I refresh, oops. Cool. That is fixed. So let's refresh the production site and make sure. Cool. That looks great. Cool. And let's also toggle and blind myself, and it still looks good. Cool. So we got 20 minutes. Let's just keep plugging and chugging, I guess. Alignment issue on navbar. That was super great issue, Andy. Past Andy. I love when I give myself great issues to work off of. Alignment issue on navbar. Is it here? No. Don't love these drop downs, but is it on this site? Also, it's worth noting that for the Institute, we run a conference. It's called MimbleTech. It's the Midwest Bisexual, Lesbian, Gay, Transgender, Asexual College Conference. And they are not two separate sites because Statamic gives us the option to have a multi-site option. So I can, with the same instance, host both sites. And they're using the same components and the same options, but they're kind of separate, but kind of not. It's really nice because for us, like our director of marketing, Nick, doesn't have to log into the MimbleTech site to make a MimbleTech change and log into the Institute site to make an Institute change. And we can do cross-posting. So like if we want to make a article or a blog post and publish it to both sites, we can. MimbleTech general info. Thank you, Mars. MimbleTech general info. Oh boy. Yes. Thank you. That is terrible. Cool. So how are we going to fix that? Let's go into our nav bar, views, MimbleTech, nav, whoop, and let's digest this. So we have the top nav, cool, we have the search, where are the drop downs? If children, drop down, inline flex, item center, space x2, text base, group, blah, 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 open, absolute left 0. So what I'm going to do is instead of left 0, I'm going to do last right 0. And then last left auto. So this last modifier is in Tailwind, and it targets, oh, this isn't going to work. Shoot. It targets the last element, but this will always be the last element because in this div, it's the last element. It's the drop down. So what I really want is like the last of all of these. Or I could use Tippy or Tappy or the Tippy is the Tippy.js. Yes. The complete tooltip popover dropdown and menu solution powered by Popper, which is probably the better way to do this and what I will probably eventually do. But don't think I have enough time to do in 15 minutes. So I want to look at the Tailwind docs and see if I can target the last of a parent. So like if the parent is the last child, then do these styles. So let's see if we can do that. For the interim fix until I do the real fix. Let's search for last. Handling first, last, odd, even. If it's odd, if it's even, cool. Group hover, yes, peer modifier. When you need to style an element based on the state of a sibling element. No, that is not what we want. Really cool, but not what we want. Before and after, no. This looks like a very Jack McDade example. Because Jack McDade always does this pink color. Before, block, no. Placeholder text, file inputs, list markers. Oh, that's cool. To make that marker green. See, I'm learning all new things with just reading the docs. Well, scrolling through the docs. Ooh. I am very sure if I showed this to Nick, our marketing human, they would want me to implement this on our articles, like, immediately. Backdrops, responsive breakpoints, prefers color scheme, prefers reduce motion, prefers contrast. Oof. I cannot talk today. But the fact that these like accessibility things are included by default in Tailwind is awesome. It is so cool to see that being adopted. Print styles, RTL support, open closed state. Custom, advanced topics. I swear, I looked this up earlier this week for a different thing that I had to do for work. But first of type, last of type. Indeterminate. Nope. Out of range. Placeholder show. Can I do group last or last group? Focus with, focus visible, active, visited, target, first, last. So this is what I wanted to do. If it's the last one, orient a certain way. Only, no, odd, even, first of type, last of type. Nope. Only of type. Nope. Empty, disabled, enabled, checked, indeterminate. Interesting. Valid, invalid, in range, out of range, placeholder showed. Okay. Do y'all have any ideas? I mean, I could be really lazy, really lazy, and just turn this to right. And then also, I should probably run npm run watch. Since we're doing Tailwind things, I want to do watch so that the JIT styler picks up things that I'm doing as I'm changing. JIT stands for just in time, which is the new compiler that does a whole bunch of magic. And if you want to learn more about it, Adam Wethen has a video on it, which is super cool. So, if I go to mobiletech.test, and about philosophy is not going to exist, but I click on general info, it's to the right. But now all of them are to the right. Can I live with that? You know what? Until I get Tippy working properly, I can live with this. It's a little weird, but it's not stupid. So I will take it and figure out how to install Tippy so I can show it all to you all on a later video. So let's quit this. Let's run prod. Let's go to tower. And I don't know why there's an error here. I am not committing that. I am not committing this either. This is a package redirect. Since we had an old version of the website, I moved to a new version of the website. I installed this redirect package to catch any errors so we could like assign them to where they need to go to. It's basically like a traffic sign. But the actual things that I want to commit are the... No, I do not want to commit this bit. So let's go back and change that. Where did you go? I do not want last write. So let's get rid of that. Go back to tower. Nope. Run prod again. So it will remove those styles that we just added, or previously added. Get rid of these two. Cool. So we switched left to right and recompiled. So switch drop downs from left to right for now. This fixes issue number 9. Closes number 9. And I think it also closes another one. Nav dropdown falls off site. So that's also number 15. And cool. So let's commit this. Let's push it. Let's deploy it. SGD. Also, it is worth noting that I usually, before pushing, I usually pull to see if anybody else has made changes to the site first. But since I know everybody is packing up for a retreat that the Institute is doing this weekend, like, nobody's going to be editing it, which is great. And then I'm also going to run nah to get rid of those, like, redirect things. Okay, let's see. At the bottom of news items, the news 3-up is broken. Well, I think we might have fixed this. At the bottom of the news items. So let's go to, nope, we're on Mobile Tech. I want to go to Institute. Mars, I usually use PRs for Enterprise, but I don't use it for, can I not spell? I don't usually use it for the Statamic site, but I probably will start to, because that's so much of like the workflow that I'm used to now. It's because I'm working on a team now. Since I used to be solo dev, I usually have like a branch, and then, yeah. But since these are tiny little changes, we'll just do it. What was I checking? I was checking news and blog and looking at the 3-up, and now it is working. I'm guessing this is what working means. I want to add pagination to this page because this looks like crap. And yeah, looks like we probably should mess with some of these styles eventually. Okay, so that means that this bug is also closed. So cool. So we closed like 4 issues. That's pretty good. I'm good with that. Do y'all have any questions before I sign off and get to packing? Or any suggestions for future videos or streams or whatever. Please talk to me. Or not. That works too. Let me check. Nope. Okie doke. Well, that's really all the time we have for today. If y'all want to reach out, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all those other things. For like suggestions of like streaming things or what to stream or anything, just let me know. I'm around and pretty chattable. I hope that makes sense. Okay, cool. Well, I am not gonna continue and make this a Midwest goodbye.